Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us today for World Card Making Day, today October 7th. My name is Veronica, I'm the creative manager here at Quilling Card, and today I'm going to be showing you how to quill our insect DIY kit. In particular, I'm going to be focusing on the butterfly design and just demonstrating a bunch of different quilling shapes and showing you how to quill. If you have your own kit, now is the time to open that up and follow along. Otherwise, you can go to quillingcard.com and order whatever kit you like. All right, so let's open this up. As you can see, we have very detailed instructions of how to quill. So this will be very beneficial if you're quilling for the first time. It demonstrates all of the different shapes you can quill and all of the individual steps, as well as some examples of the finished quilled cards we have. So in this kit, we have 2 gift enclosure size cards of the dragonfly and the ladybug. And then we also have 2 larger size cards of the butterfly, which is what I'll be doing today, and also the bumblebee. Okay, so I'm gonna put those to the side for now. And you'll also notice you have plenty of quilling paper to work with. So you've got plenty of paper to practice and experiment with, so don't be worried about using too much paper as you're learning. You have your quilling pen, you have your tweezers, your scissors, and we also included an extra bookmark for you to practice some shapes on. And don't be intimidated, I also am not a quilling expert, so don't be scared. We're going to have some fun quilling together. Alrighty, so the great thing about our do-it-yourself kits is that it's basically just a blank template that you can quill any shapes you'd like to fill the color blocks. So for example, if I really want to practice my circles, I could fill this entire design with all circles. Or teardrops, I could practice those, or a combination of all different shapes. So I'll demonstrate several different shapes so we can kind of get the idea together. And as I said, if you don't have your own kit yet, you can go to quillingcard.com and order one of the kits. We have this insect kit as well as the holiday kit and an everyday kit that has more florals and hearts and other things like that. So there's plenty to choose from. So I think I'm gonna start off with some yellow because there's a lot of yellow in this butterfly. So every single shape you ever quill starts the same way. You thread it through the quilling pen, you roll it over, and then you just start coiling that up. So no matter what shape you're going to quill, they all start as a coil, as a circle, and then you go from there as to what shape you're actually going to make. So I relax that coil to whatever size I want, and honestly, quilling is a lot of eyeballing to kind of figure out exactly what size you need for the design. So here is a perfect little circle. I see that that's about the size of what I want there. But my glue, I would recommend using some of the plastic from your kit. And we use just regular Elmer's glue. And you really don't need a lot of glue. And you're gonna wanna spread it out. So we use either popsicle sticks or some sort of like plastic utensils to just kind of spread out that glue so it's a nice thin layer. And when you grip your quilling shapes, it's actually best to grip them through the center and hold the tail on the end as well. I'm just gonna dip that in a tiny bit of glue. And then you place that right on the card. You can kind of press down with your fingers a little bit to place it exactly where you'd like. And I know a lot of people always ask about the tail of that quilling shape. Sometimes it kind of comes unstuck and wants to go out to the side. I usually put just a little bit of glue on my tweezers, and then you put that on the tail and you're just gonna stick it back to itself. Sometimes you have to hold it there so it sticks. Needs a little extra help sometimes. Perfect. So I'm gonna do another circle the same way to do that other part of the butterfly on the other side. So you thread it through the needle, you roll it up, and it takes our quillers about an hour to hand make each design, so they're very fast. It definitely does not take me an hour, so take as long as you need to master the shapes and the design. It's very meditative actually once you get comfortable with it. So I dip this in a little bit of glue. Gonna place this on the other side of the butterfly wing. They're pretty even actually. Nice. Okay, let's do some other colors, shall we? So now I think I'm gonna try and do a few teardrops, which is the next basic shape that you'll see most commonly used in quilling designs. Because the teardrop is very versatile, it can be used for petals on flowers, leaves, and other kind of natural shapes such as that. So for this, another thing to keep in mind is that you don't always need to use the full strip of paper. So I'm gonna actually cut this in half because sometimes it's easier to manage and work with as you're learning as well if there's a shorter piece. So I cut this strip in half. I'm gonna do the same exact thing where I coil this up. You pop that off the end, you relax that. And then for the teardrop, I'm just going to pinch one side to make that teardrop shape. And then I'm gonna do the same thing where I put my tweezer through the middle and the outside. So now I have this little teardrop. I'm actually gonna do the same thing, dipping in just a little bit of glue. You don't wanna totally saturate the paper, less is more. And I'm gonna add this little teardrop right here. And as I said, you can still kind of manipulate it once you put it on the card. So I'm actually squeezing this a bit more with my tweezers to get it to better fit that shape. Okay, so now let's do that again. I'm gonna use the other half of that blue strip of paper. I'm gonna coil this up. Then relax it, just pinch, and then same thing, I'm gonna put the tweezer through the middle and the outside, just a little bit of glue, and let's balance out this butterfly. Same thing, I'm gonna kind of squeeze with my tweezer to better have it fit in there. There we go. Great. Now let's try maybe some of this pink. I like this pink color. So as I said, our kits come with all of the tools and materials you need. There's plenty of paper, so even if you wanted to start practicing shapes and follow along with me before starting your actual card, that's great. You can use your bookmark or even just scrap paper to kind of practice placing some of those shapes and getting comfortable. Patience is key with quilling, so don't be too hard on yourself. And the only thing you have to purchase outside of the kit is our Elmer's glue, but it's just school glue, Elmer's glue you can get at any craft store, and that works perfectly fine for quilling. You don't need any like super glue or anything like that. The quilling is actually very strong just with the regular school glue. All right, so now with this pink, let's try a different shape. Let's do kind of like an eye shape. So I did a full strip of paper. I'm gonna relax this one pretty large. And then I'm gonna pinch one side and then with my other fingers pinch the other side as well. So now I have this eye shape. So same thing. It's best to hold it with your tweezers, one through the middle, one on the outside. Let's dip that in a little bit of glue. And let's try and do that right here. So this shape, I think, is gonna actually take 2 of this eye drop to fill that block of color, which is totally fine. You could, even if you want, have multiple shapes to fill one block of color on this butterfly design. You don't need to have one shape fill the whole thing. So you can see I just did part of this piece in the butterfly wing, and I'm actually going to do that same exact eye shape to fill the other half of that. So let's pull this strip, and we're going to coil this up again. And for those of you who maybe don't have enough patience to quill yourself, that's totally fine. Maybe you're just an admirer of quilling, you just want to learn a little bit more about how it's done. That's wonderful. You can check out, we have a lot of different videos on our YouTube of our master quillers and how they quill everything. It's really amazing to watch. Okay, so I pinch both sides, get this teardrop shape. Okay, let's take the tweezers again. A little bit of glue. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of place this on the card, but then still manipulate it a bit more. I can kind of squeeze shapes together. So I kind of want this to merge with that other shape I just did. So I'm doing that. And don't worry about the glue, it dries clear. So you don't have to worry about there being too much white or anything like that. It actually came out pretty good, I think. Okay. Let's do the eyes on the other side as well. I think the eyes are one of the trickier ones for sure. So even if you want to just start off doing all circles and like traditional teardrops to fill the entire design, that works too. Like this big space of blue you could definitely fill with all different circles or teardrops. Doesn't have to be any specific shape. So once again, I'm gonna pinch both sides, tweezer through the middle, dip in a little glue. And you definitely have to kind of hold and curve and manipulate that once it's on the card to get it exactly where you'd like. And even if you place it down and you're not totally happy with where it is, before the glue dries, you can just pull it right off with your tweezers and try again. So there really is no pressure. Don't overthink it. Just gonna add a little glue to that tail so that stays more where I want it to. Not perfect, but I'm okay with it. Let's do one more of that eye shape. So these were full strips, and you really have to relax it to make sure you have enough to make this long kind of eye shape. So there we go. Tweezers again. Okay, and that's gonna go right there. Butterfly wings in real life are not even totally identical, right? We can be a little creative. They don't need to be totally the same. Okay, so now we have that side of the butterfly wing. I definitely think the right side might be my favorite, but we all have a favorite side. So now let's try a tight coil. So as you've noticed, when I take it off the quilling pen, I relax it to shape it. But with a tight coil, you don't want to do that. So let's actually cut this in half. And we're gonna do just a half strip to be able to get that really tight, tiny coil. So same thing, you're gonna wind this up. And now when I pop it off, I really don't wanna relax it. So I'm just gonna keep it nice and tight like that. And you may not even be able to kind of put the tweezers through the middle. So you can just kind of hold the outside. These are a little bit tricky to hold, honestly, but okay, I'm gonna dip that in a little glue. I'm gonna put that right there. Okay, same thing, sometimes that tail kind of wants to unwind, but you can use the glue to just glue that back to itself. Okay, there we go. Let's do one other tight coil. So I've got that other half strip. Gonna coil this up. So I'm not going to relax it. Just gonna keep that tight. A little bit of glue. And right on the other side there. Oops. See, that one wanted to come unwound. So we're gonna try that again. So another half strip. Oops, I think I just didn't hold it tight enough that time. That's why the tight coils are kind of tricky, because you really don't want it to unwind. Okay, so hold that nice and tight. Gonna grab with my tweezer. Dip, dip, dip. Okay, that's better. Okay, looking good. All right, let's maybe do some more yellow, just a few more. So I'm gonna do another half strip for this. And I've been doing a lot of half strips, but you can even do like a quarter or 3/4. It doesn't have to be half or full. And depending on your quilling ability, sometimes it's easier the shorter they are. So if you want to practice quilling full strips as well as short strips, you can. And also our kits are great for all ages. So if you want to do a little family activity with your kids or grandkids even, and quill together, this would be a lot of fun. So this one, I think I'm gonna do a teardrop again. So just squeeze one side. dip in a little glue, and I'm gonna put that right here. Okay, let's do one more of that. And even if you want to just quill like a little bit each day, don't be intimidated by having to quill the whole butterfly in one sitting. As you can see, it takes time. So even just doing a few shapes a day would be a good idea, I think. Okay. And as you can see, I'm not really using a whole lot of glue, so you can be really sparing in the amount of glue you use. Okay. Butterfly's looking even. Let's maybe do one more shape. So let's try and do the half circle, which is a bit tricky for even myself. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm gonna try and use a full strip so I have enough to relax to really shape it. Okay, so relax that. I'm gonna so it's kind of like the eye shape, but you want one side to stay kind of flat. So it is a bit tricky, but I think I got it. I don't know, this might be too big of a strip, but let's see. But as I said, there's really no rules. So you can quill whatever shape, whatever color, whatever placement you'd like. I think that works okay right there, actually. Alrighty. So pop that off. We're gonna squeeze both sides, but try to keep like a flat side so it's more of a half circle than an eye. Okay. I think my half circles even need a little bit more practice. But I think that looks pretty good for now. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and quilling along with me. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said before, we have 3 different kits on our website, so definitely check out those 3 kits at quillingcard.com. The next kit we'll probably do is our holiday kit. That's gonna make a great Christmas gift for the upcoming season if you have anyone who's really crafty or it's an activity you'd like to do with friends or family. So check all that out at quillingcard.com and we hope to see you next time.